When Reserve Bank Governor Glenn Stevens told markets to chill out and see what the economic data says, it appears that he meant it, as the central bank opted to leave interest rates on hold at 2%. But with some market participants now looking for a rate cut in early 2016, I spoke to Nicki Hutley, chief economist at the Urbis, to find out her thoughts. Nicki Hutley, welcome back to Dukascopy TV. It's always a pleasure to receive you.
Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. Okay, so let's touch firstly on this RBA interest rate hold. Now, the statement was 3 words longer in December compared to November. Is that about the most exciting thing that really came across?
Well, probably. I mean, look, everyone was expecting this, so no surprises for anyone. But, you know, we're always looking, the minute that decision's out of the way, we're always looking forward to the next decision. And we do tend to look into the depths of those wording. And there wasn't a great deal of change across the board, some slight nuances. And the one for me that is probably the most important is that the Australian economy actually is firming a little bit. And I think the view there is, yes, things aren't, going ahead in the heyday and glory days that we've had, but also that they are picking up just ever so slightly. The employment numbers a little bit better, the business conditions a little bit better, and that all adds up to it's not a foregone conclusion about what's going to happen at the next meeting.
Well, you mentioned there in terms of looking ahead, and we've got AMP Shane Oliver is in the cohort that thinks we're going to see a cut early 2016. Where do you sit on that idea?
Yeah, it's interesting. So we're now down to only 25% expecting a rate cut, or the market's pricing that in for February, and then about 50% for May. I think we may well be at the bottom of the rate cycle if, as the Reserve Bank expects, the momentum continues to build. If there's a shock, of course, all bets are off. And these things evolve continually. But at the moment, the momentum seems to be going, what will it be that makes the Reserve Bank cut rates? What will it deliver to them? If you think about how it works through the housing market, through consumption, we've already got those sectors moving quite nicely. You don't want to stir housing up any more than it is already. So I'm not sure that it's going to get them the key missing ingredient in this pie, which is obviously the non-mining sector investment. And we're already seeing some hint that might actually be starting to be a little bit more optimistic.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, in today's rate statement, they said, low interest rates are helping assist borrowing and also spending. We're coming into that crucial Christmas retail period. How does that look likely to potentially prompt a quite optimistic close to the year?
Look, well, I think the average person in the street, unless they actually see the interest rate cut, it probably won't affect their spending. But of course, they do react very much to what we see in the media. And depending on how this is reported in the press tomorrow morning as, RBA holds rates because the economy is great, or RBA holds rates but, things may get worse next year, obviously affects people's confidence and how they spend. But certainly the anecdotal evidence is that Aussies are quite optimistic at the moment that this Christmas spending is in fact going to be a good period, and that despite the fact that wages growth has been quite contained this year, the slightly better employment outlook has actually helped incomes to grow, and that people will actually spend at the till this Christmas.
So RBA Governor Glenn Stevens has told everyone to chill out, quite literally chill out, and see what the economic data is saying. So what are those next items of economic data that we are going to be looking for? You've said already, labour market's looking actually pretty optimistic. So what will those key items be coming up?
Well, I guess everyone will focus on the GDP numbers shortly to be released, but that is again backward looking for the third quarter, and we already know that domestic demand was quite soft, but that exports will have given us a reasonably healthy picture of growth. So now it's what are the forward indicators going to tell us about where the housing sector and consumer demand's going, and where is business investment going? So we're looking month by month at those partial indicators. Really important will be the quarterly capex expectations and any of the business surveys around how businesses are finding both their conditions and what that means about what they plan to do for investment.
Nicki, many thanks for the update.
Thank you.
We will continue to bring you insights into that economic guidance that could be shaping the Reserve Bank's decisions moving forwards. That is all we've got time for right now. I'm Natalie MacDonald, and this is Sydney Direct for Dukascopy TV. Goodbye for now.